Hey everyone. So I thought I'd do a video today because I haven't shared much updates about our travel plans in a while, and I just wanted to do a little quick update because today is pretty crazy. Like, my life is just really wild right now, and I live by a road, so I'll just wait for this car to go past. Okay, so today, it's Thursday, we went to the bank to pick up to request a cashier's check or a banker's draft or whatever it's called, for a lot of money so that we can take it tomorrow when we buy and pick up our motorhome. So that's happening tomorrow. That feels so crazy. Like, I can't even believe this is happening. So we've got the money, we borrowed it, and we're gonna pay it back as soon as we sell the house. We had to borrow it from two different lenders because they didn't want to give us more than a certain amount if we didn't have collateral, because we're not keeping our house. So we had to wait for the money to come from the second lender. But anyway, so that's all done now. We've got it, a cashier's check for it, and we're gonna go to Tennessee tomorrow. It's a 2-hour drive, maybe a little bit more, and then we're gonna have to drive it back here, and we have no experience of driving a big vehicle like that. Well, my husband Sam's gonna drive it. I'm gonna drive the car back home. So, wow, it's hot today. I need to wear some cooler clothing. But anyway, so that's some news. Now I have a story also to share with you that's pretty wild. So some of you might know this already, but a few weeks ago, it was a couple weeks ago, my cat, Kitty, we have two cats, the older one, who's got black, shorter hair or fur, we found her on the driveway by the road, and she couldn't walk, and she couldn't really move. She was just laying on her side. And because she was by the road, we assumed that maybe she got hit by a car. And so we take her inside, and she's meowing and meowing really loud. And so we were like, okay, this sounds not good, and she can't move, and she was sort of shaking. And so anyway, fast forward, we took her to the vet, and they didn't really have any appointments available, so they said, just leave her here. And you can, drop her off, and then we can get to her in between appointments. So that's what we did. And this vet's office is just so overbooked that they just couldn't really see her or update us. Sorry, that was a big truck. Anyway, it was just very slow going, and she ended up staying there for 2 weeks. They put her on IV fluids, and I think they gave her some steroids and some other thing, antibiotics, or I don't know, whatever. But they took an x-ray of her, and they didn't see any broken bones or fractures. So they're like, I don't think she got hit. I think she's got some sort of neurological issue. But they never really got to the bottom of that, because of how busy they were. And so we would call every day or every other day to check on her, and they would just say there's not really a lot of progress, and she ate breakfast, but she still won't get up, and she won't go to the bathroom by herself, and she just basically she couldn't use her legs. When she was still at home, actually, we saw her trying to move, and it looked like her legs were just in this weird position, just kind of dragging her legs along. It was not good. So I had a good cry about it, because I thought, oh my gosh, what if we might have to put her down depending on what's going on with her. So anyway, like a week when she was in the vet hospital or whatever for at the end of the first week, there's another truck coming. Yeah, so by the end of the first week, she said she came to me in a dream. I had a dream about Kitty, and she was walking towards me, and she looked absolutely fine and normal, and so I felt reassured that she was going to be okay. And so it was also around this time, it was actually probably a week before, or a couple of weeks before, that I heard about this. Just let the cars come through. I heard about this company called ASEA. It's ASEA. You might have heard about it too. But basically, I heard about it from this guy called Andrew, and he posted about it being like a godsend, medicine for his dog who had a brain tumor, and it really helped his dog to recover from that. And so it had been on the back of my mind, and I wanted to look into it, but I just didn't have a chance. And then I went on a Zoom call that Andrew hosted, and he mentioned it again, and I just knew at that moment that I had to go and get that for my cat. And it was just really a leap of faith kind of thing, and I had a good feeling about it, but you just don't know, right? So I ordered the stuff, and it arrived. So it's a drink. It's a liquid, comes in a blue bottle, and it arrived on the Friday of the second week. Now, the whole 2 weeks that she was there, most of it, there was not a lot of progress. Like, she would eat, but she just couldn't stand up. But on the Wednesday of the second week, they said she actually stood up, and she's walking a little bit, but she's super wobbly. But we think that you can pick her up on Saturday. And so the ASEA thing arrived on Friday, and we picked her up on Saturday. And I was fuming too, because they told me to be there at 10 o'clock to pick her up, and they did not have her ready, and I waited for a whole hour, and they still said, we just can't get to her, we're so busy. And so she said, can you come back at 2? But anyway, long story short, we picked her up at 12, because my husband went in there, and he just wouldn't take no for an answer. He said, can we just take her now, please, and we can talk to the doctor another time. So they just quickly got her and weighed her and put her information in the computer, and they sent us home with an injection, like injectable steroids, and it had no instructions in it, just because they just didn't have a chance to even talk to us. So I'm like, well, I'm not using this, because we've got the ASEA stuff now. And so we started giving that to her on Sunday, or maybe it was Saturday night. And we gave her like 10 mil for dinner and 10 mil for breakfast, and we would use a dropper. And on that first day when she was home, like we bought a kennel for her so that she wouldn't try and jump and like injure herself, or we didn't want her to go outside, so we closed the cat flap, because we felt bad that she hi Jack, there's a car again. Let's wait for this car to come through. Yeah, so we felt really guilty about putting her in the kennel, so eventually we let her out, and she would she could walk, but she would fall over or slip. She would slip a lot. And she was just kind of hunched over, and you could see that she was very weak. But the first thing she did was she tried her best to walk to her food bowl. So that was really encouraging. But anyway, by Wednesday, so we've been giving her the ASEA since Sunday or Saturday night. And by Wednesday, I really noticed a change in her because she was just a lot more stable. It wasn't perfect, but she was a lot more stable. She wasn't slipping or falling as much. And she was actually trying to, go up on, jump up onto the sofa. And she couldn't really make it, but, she was almost there. And we just felt more confident, that we can let her go outside. And at first we were supervising her. And then after a while we were just like, she's totally fine. And so we opened up the cat flap again. And it opens up to the basement. There's a staircase going down. And she goes up the stairs fine. She goes down the stairs fine. And she is just doing so well, you guys. It's been a week and a half. And I'm just like, wow, this ASEA thing is really helping. But I was like, I don't know if it's just that, because, it's good that she's home, she's happy, she's relaxed. And we've been giving her raw milk, and we've been giving her, her usual food, tuna, and some meat that we cook for her. And she's getting cuddles, and so, that's all contributing too. She gets to go outside and be in the sunshine. So I'm like, okay, and I'm still, learning about ASEA, and I'm taking the drink as well, and my husband too, because I want to, kind of test it out for myself and see if I find any benefits with it. And so it's been a week and a half. I feel really good. Nothing like super dramatic, but my energy is definitely more stable and more constant. I'm not crashing as much, and I don't know, I just feel more uplifted, I guess. And but the crazy thing is, this was only yesterday, I was taking a nap, but I couldn't really sleep. Oh, there's FedEx coming. I'm gonna have to pause this video because the FedEx truck is here. Okay, sorry about that. I'm back now. So anyway, yesterday I was in bed because I was trying to nap, and then we heard Nina screaming outside, and so we jumped up and ran to see what happened. And she was crying, and what happened was that our rooster, the same rooster that you hear on the podcast if you listen to the podcast, he just jumped on her back and scratched her back. And so she had several scratches on her back and on the back of her arm. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, why did he do that? What's wrong with him? And she didn't have a shirt on because she's a free spirit and it's hot. She just doesn't like to wear clothes. So her back was bare, and the rooster scratched her up. And so, we were pretty mad with the rooster. But I took Nina and I put some of the ASEA gel on her. There's like a gel version. So I put it on her, on the scratches. And within 5 minutes, she said it doesn't hurt anymore, and she calmed down. And so we cuddled on the bed, and I helped her to feel better. And then so we were talking about, okay, what are we going to do about this rooster? Because he's impossible to catch. It's really impossible to catch. This rooster is another level. My son Jack is really good at catching chickens, and we just cannot catch this rooster. He's a different breed. So anyway, we can't, it's not safe to keep him if he's going to be aggressive like that, especially towards the children. And and we're moving anyway, so the reason why I haven't processed him is because I don't really want to, but also we can't catch him. So anyway, we decided that we would ask our neighbor Chris, who I interviewed for the podcast. I think it was episode 4. I interviewed him to come and try and shoot the rooster, because we didn't have a gun anymore. We sold our gun to Chris. And it's a car again. And so in the evening, Chris comes by with his handgun, and he tries to shoot the chicken, and this chicken is like a ghost or something. He kept missing, and he's a really good shot too, Chris is. So he kept missing, and every time that he would take a break from trying to shoot this chicken, he would come up here to around where I am now, and we would have a chat. And I noticed that he was limping. There's another car. It's a truck, actually. Sorry. Yeah, so I noticed that he was limping, and I knew that he'd hurt his leg, because when I went over to their place on Saturday to record a podcast conversation with his wife Jen, he was limping, and she said he did hurt his leg, but I didn't really realize how bad it was. And so he's like, yeah, my leg is really bad, and he showed me. It was his right leg, and it was really super swollen, like really swollen, just huge. And it, like, on the top of his thigh, like, it was like red and black and blue and purple. He was in pain. He said it was hurting, and he's been taking Tylenol, and he hates doing that. And he's been putting arnica on it, and he's not really sure what to do, and I don't think he'd been to the doctor. He's just waiting for it to kind of subside or drain or whatever. And so I'm like, can I give you something for it? Because on that same day, yesterday, I had just finished watching an hour long presentation about ASEA, and I actually learned a bit more about the gel, because I'm just new to this, right? And in this video, there were some guys who shared their stories about how ASEA helped them, and it was really pretty incredible. But I was thinking, like, wow, that sounds amazing, but it's also kind of too good to be true. I don't know, I just had, like, I mean, I do have a good feeling about the product, but I don't know, it's just, I guess, I still had some doubt or skepticism, or, it was just kind of like, I don't know if it's really gonna help that fast. But so anyway, so I just said, can I give you something for it? And he said, yeah, I'll try anything, this is horrible, and I'll try anything. And I said, okay. So I went to get it, and I explained to him that it's this redox signaling molecules in gel form. And what it is basically is we all have redox signaling molecules in our body. So it is something that's native to the human body. And it's what our cells use to communicate with each other. It's like a cell phone signal. Like, if you don't have a cell phone signal, you can't communicate, right? So we already have this, but because of, stressors in our environment, as we get older, like, the signal isn't as good. And so this company was able to create, like, a way for us to replenish those redox signaling molecules. I'm still trying to understand it all, but the video that I was telling you about, he explained it really well. This guy called, I think his name's Alan Noble. But anyway, so I explained that to Chris, and I said, just, a little bit goes a long way. Just rub it on your leg, and we'll just see what happens. He's like, yeah, fine, I'll let you know. And then, so later that night, he comes back with a shotgun, because it was a better choice, and he actually was able to shoot the rooster. So that's kind of, that's good news for Nina, because she's not going to get scratched up again, but it's also kind of sad, because, you're not going to hear the rooster noise anymore on my recordings and for the podcast. But anyway, he took the rooster home, and he processed it, and he fed it to his dogs, because it was put to good use. And so when I woke up this morning, I'm tired. I've been up since 2:30 a.m. And I had no internet, like, most of the time. It would come back a little, and then it would go off again. And then, so, like, around 8 o'clock, I received a text message. And it was from Chris. Let's wait for this car. And so Chris says, here, I'll read it to you. Where'd I put it? I was so blown away by this. I had to read it multiple times because I couldn't believe it. Oh my gosh, okay. So this is what Chris said in his message. He said, I can't thank you enough for this, ASEA. I feel so much better. The swelling has gone way down. There's a car. I can't thank you enough for this, ASEA. I feel so much better. The swelling has gone way down, and the pain is half what it was last night. I will definitely reimburse you for this tube, but where do I find it when I need more? And I was just like, wow, this is so crazy. Like, is this even real, right? Like, I feel like I'm awake in a dream, you know? We're getting a motorhome tomorrow. We've got the money for it. I have a podcast. I don't know how I managed to pull that off, and it's going so well. And now there's this magical product, elixir, whatever, that I can share with people if they need help. You know, I mean, I'm a firm believer in our body's ability to heal itself. I feel like Totoro, Jack. Thank you for the flowers. And our body is always healing. Every second, millisecond, your body is healing all the time. But sometimes we need help. I don't know why there's music playing all of a sudden. That's my other phone. Yeah, so anyway, I wanted to share with you guys that story. And also I wanted to tell you about this company because they are the real deal. And yeah, it might help somebody out there, you know. So I will add the link to that presentation that I watched in the description of this video. And I will also, actually, if you go to, I made a short link for it. It's bit.ly, bit.ly/discover. Sorry about the traffic. /discover ASEA, ASEA. And you have to write the ASEA in all capitals because someone already made a short link that was for the lowercase version and it goes to a YouTube video. My short link should take you to a Vimeo link, Vimeo video. So again, it's bit.ly/discover ASEA, and I'll put that on the description. Hey, Jack. And if you have any questions about it, if you're interested in purchasing, you can send me a direct message on Instagram. Or, oh, Jack said these are some of Roosty's feathers. Yay! Goodbye, Roosty. You were very good to us, except when you scratched Nina. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, let me know. I'm on Telegram too. And I will keep you guys updated. I'll send you some pictures tomorrow when we pick up our motorhome. Lots of love, you guys.